It's going. Okay.
Okay. Like waiting game of it. Like, when are we actually live?
I know.
Not
Because
yet.
you want to mute it like immediately once it shows up. Hi, everyone.
Wait,
Hi.
you guys can see this.
Is it live?
We're just waiting.
Oh,
There we go.
There we are. Okay. There we are. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to our live show for Before the Devil Breaks You, Book 3 in the Diviner series by Libba Bray, #Diviners Read Along. I guess let's go around and very quickly introduce ourselves in case anyone is joining us for the first time for this book. I'm Jane. You're on my channel. It's Jane Lindsay. Happy to see you.
Hello, Chelsea. Chelsea Darling reads. Hello. Again. Awkward. Okay.
Hello, my name is Melanie, or Melanie, and I'm excited to talk to you about this. Okay.
Hi, I'm Madeline. My channel is Novel Inc.
Well then.
Great. Okay, so I guess just to generally get us started, book 3 of the 4-book series, Before the Devil Breaks You. I mean, our whole discussion is going to have to be spoilery, right? Because we're well deep in the series at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But the main crux of book 3 is that public opinion is turning against the diviners, and they're seen as un-American, and our crew is having to deal with that at the same time that there are ghosts invading an asylum off the coast of Manhattan, and then also just making their way across America as a whole. And so our ragtag group has to learn more secrets and information about the history of the diviners, but also how to protect New York from this threat. Dun dun dun.
That was very well done.
Yeah.
You nailed
As
it.
usual, Jane is the most articulate.
Thanks. So I guess those degrees were worth it. Sometimes. Let me take a sip of this White Claw.
Can't relate.
Wow.
Evie O'Neill is in the house, y'all.
It's Neville Yoongi though.
Not yet.
Hi, Lauren.
Hi, Lauren. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
So,
Neville Yoongi is here.
Neville,
Yes. I felt you. I felt you, baby.
We summoned them.
I'll start without you.
We're like, well, we'll just sit here.
Let's play Seesaw. Today's live.
Hannah asked the question that I was going to start us off with, so perfect timing. But let's all say if we physically read or we listened to the audio, or how did you read this book?
Audiobook for sure.
Same.
Audiobook.
Yeah, I don't even own the physical book for this one, so yeah.
I did a combo this time around. I ended up physically reading most of it, just because the audiobook that I had didn't go past 2 times speed.
Ugh.
And I like to listen to them at 2.5 to 3. And so it was faster for me to physically read it.
That's why I just canceled Scribd, because they got rid of.
Yeah, Scribd got rid of higher speeds.
Yeah. You can only listen over 2 times speed if you have an Android, which I deleted Scribd.
Yeah. No green text in this house. Oh my god. I feel like this book was so much. So much happened in this book. This was my first time reading it. Oh, okay, wait.
Yeah, we should say.
Yeah. Let's go around saying, obviously I kicked us off. This was my first time reading this book.
Yeah, so this was a reread for me.
It was my first time as well.
This was a reread for me.
And what did we all rate it? Let's just get that off the go.
5 stars.
5 stars.
5 stars.
I was like, she better not say something other than 5.
Chelsea, what did you rate it?
Oh, 5 stars.
I was like,
I thought, whatever.
No, you're good. Okay.
Not been happening. Yeah, this reread was really interesting because I remembered some of the key things that happened, but I didn't remember when they happened. So there was things that happened towards the end that I thought were like had started so much sooner and like took up more of the book. But then I got like 60% of the way through and I was like, these things haven't happened yet. It was, I don't know, it was weird. It was an interesting reading experience.
Yeah.
And this is a book that I have only read once. All the other books I'd read 2 or 3 times. So this was my second read of this one. And it was really interesting. A lot of things I missed or forgot.
I actually took so many notes this time around. The first time I've ever done so.
Good.
But yeah. It was just wild from start to finish.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's safe to say we're officially like gonna do spoilers now. So if you haven't read this book
Yes.
or any of the previous books, now's your time to get out of here because we're gonna spoil The Diviner's Lair of Dreams and Before the Devil Breaks You.
Yep.
Yes.
So there's your warning.
I just want to say this book, I felt like this the first time I read it and also like this time. It's so satisfying after all of this build up with all of these separate storylines, just see the whole crew together, fighting ghosts, taking names, working on their powers together, like figuring out both like their interpersonal things and like this larger thing that they're all part of. It's just it's just the best payoff, especially like because I read the first book in 2012 when it came out, and like so it's been it was by the time 2017 and like this book came out, it was like such a long time coming and it was so satisfying.
Really?
I can't imagine having read this book and then not knowing when book 4 was coming out and having to wait so long.
It was
I can't imagine.
yeah.
Like I only have to wait till February and I'm already like don't know.
I know.
We're gonna reread it all again.
Yeah,
I know.
January, everyone come back. We're gonna do a big. We're just gonna marathon them.
1 week.
You really could.
So hard.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. How do we split this up? Because there's a lot to talk about. Oh, let me just get this out the way.
Jane's theory.
I want to cry, but I have to officially give up and admit defeat on my Will is Evie's dad theory. I'm so sad. You guys, I really thought I was right. I thought I had it on the nose. I was totally wrong. Because even though as we saw it in Lair of Dreams, like the timeline would have worked out, but apparently Radka and Will like weren't as together as I expected during the period of time, and then also she just like disappeared, so wasn't around to be having a baby. But so Evie is not Will's daughter with Radka. So sad.
Let you hang out for as long as you can.
I know.
Yeah, I mean it's such a good theory based on the first 2 books, like by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So solid.
Yeah.
And I will say, like, even because, like I said, when I first read this book, I read it the day it came out, and I sped through it because I wanted to know what was happening. I was even like, maybe, like I couldn't.
Same.
Yeah, I was like, that's possible.
Well, of course, like the fact that I had to admit defeat on this theory, also just a smack in the face with what happens. Big spoilers. What happens at the very end when Will fucking dies?
Yeah.
I did not see that death coming. I saw the other death, which I guess we'll go ahead and say Mabel Rose.
Yeah.
I did see that coming. I thought it was, pretty appropriately spoon-fed to us. But Will's death, I was just like, oh no. It was a lot.
Yeah. And even during that scene, she like fakes you out and like makes you think it's all gonna be okay, and then it's not okay.
It's not okay.
Yeah, and even like the foreshadowing of, I can't think of his name, but the guy that owns the Hotsy Totsy with the piano wire. Yeah, and then it's like, oh, well, that just happened. And then like you get to see it come full circle with Will, and then you're like, no. And it's like, nah, bitch, yeah.
Oh, yeah, and Sarah Snow.
Yeah, that, like, I mean, obviously Sarah, we're supposed to hate Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
But it still sucks, man. Like, geez.
Well, I think that like Libba Bray makes a very, because at first I was like, you killed Sarah Snow, and then I was like, no, it's even better. Like Libba Bray makes a really good point in that oftentimes figures are more powerful as martyrs than they are alive, and you can
especially women. I will say,
yeah, you can shape the narrative around them can get shaped more so in death. And use them as this kind of like benevolent, pure figure for the cause in a way that you can't quite control when they're still alive.
Yeah. And it's definitely going to go there with like Evie quitting because like, you know, the anarchist thing and like whatever it was, like a good American or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
it's all about pop off.
This book better be long.
Yeah. We've got too many loose ends to tie up at this point. I was truly shook. People dying left and right at the end of this book.
Yeah.
Let me go through my notes.
I forgot that Bill ended up being a good, like, not a good guy. I mean, he's still done some fucked up shit, but like, I forgot that he helps Memphis. And
it's a little redemption arc.
Yeah. On his way forward.
That they were running away. Like, I was so wrapped up in Will and like running over that I forgot that even happened.
I will admit, I was a little bit like, are we going to do a reverse Underground Railroad storyline? Are we going to do that? Are we? That feels a little to me. But we'll see. I'm going to have faith. And hopefully it's not the entire book because that would be really annoying. But
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. I think Isaiah's got a big old target on his back right now.
Oh, yeah.
That girl, what's her name?
Yeah.
Sarah Beth.
Sarah Beth. Is she coming for you?
Also the name of one of my high school nemesis, so
of course
I have even more hatred in my heart.
Sarah Beth.
It says The King of Crows is only 560 pages. What?
Oh, is that just the Kindle excerpt?
No, it's hardcover.
No, I mean, like, you know, they let you read the first few pages on the Kindle.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
Oh
I'm
god.
just, man. I agree with Yungi. They said that they were surprised that the like asylum storyline wrapped up so quickly. I think you are led to believe that it's going to be like the main crux of the book, and then it's over halfway, and I was like, what is still left for us? And there was nothing but suffering left for us.
I also like the whole like asylum thing. That was my least favorite part of the book.
It was so scary.
For sure.
It adds like so much of a creepy layer to the story.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it is very creepy. I just was like, I don't know, like, it's not that it didn't feel cheesy because it was very scary, but it was just like, oh, they're going to a haunted asylum now. Okay.
I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
But it was still, I still get this book fine. But that was my favorite part.
Let's talk about what gets discovered while they're at the asylum, while we're all scared shitless. Let's talk about what really happened to James. And the fact that he was...
We still don't really know.
Well, what really happened in the... so James was patient 0, subject 0. And all of that... which I was like, oh man, I bet the 144 is like a regiment. And they were. Of like potential diviners. But also that he was in love with Luther.
Yeah.
I was just like, I had to reread that line a couple times. I was like, oh. It was super cute.
I'm so, like, I mean, obviously, we know really nothing of where the 4th book is going to go.
Yeah.
But, like, there's just so much that needs to get wrapped up. Like, James, we have to find out if he's... I'm assuming he's alive, right? I mean, that's kind of what we're being said. Like,
I think in the King of Crows' world, right?
Yeah, I think they're in that, like, in-between world.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes me think the diviners are going to go there.
Oh, yeah. It kind of feels like maybe they're powering this whole operation from the King of Crows in some sort of way. I don't know.
I wonder if we'll have to, like... that's interesting. I wonder if it'll come down to like them being in this like diviner Shadowland and like realizing that like they're the ones that are powering it, and then Evie having to ultimately like
give up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure the ending is gonna be heartbreaking.
Yeah,
it is gonna kill us.
Yeah.
I just like she's killed 2 people, like, and not that Mabel and Will are expendable because they're both like great
kills, though.
Like, they're of the whole cast of characters, there are 2 that I'm like, okay, I guess. Like if it had like I just couldn't imagine giving up any of them.
Yeah.
And I just don't know.
I think a couple of them have have targets on their bags.
I think all of them have targets.
I mean, yeah.
Mhm.
I think that like I think that she gave us a couple easy kills in this book, and next book we're gonna get a hard hitter. It's gonna be a major character, I think.
Kill Sam or Memphis, I'm gonna cry.
I don't think she'll kill Sam. But
I don't think she'll kill Memphis.
I meant to say or Memphis, but like then I immediately was like, maybe she would kill Sam. I definitely think Memphis is gonna survive. I wouldn't be surprised if Henry dies. Do we need two Dreamwalkers? I don't know.
But I'll be honest with y'all, like I don't trust like Cassie Clare, like I don't trust that she's gonna kill any of the main crew, honestly. I don't
know. Because the conclusion to her first trilogy is pretty freaking sad.
Is it?
Yeah.
I do not know. Yeah. It's like if she's known for that, then you know.
I mean, I wouldn't say maybe but she kills a major character off.
Yeah. Well, I feel like if it's Evie, I feel like it has to be Sam too. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she'll leave one of them.
I don't think Evie. I think Evie's too much main character, and I just don't see Libba making that choice.
Mm-hmm.
Just based off of like what other YA books have done that and succeeded. Like, I was just gonna spoil something.
I mean, I think Jericho's probably gonna go.
He can go.
Oh, maybe we should talk about Jericho.
Maybe, yeah. Let's.
I was shocked. Go ahead, Melanie.
Before though, one of the most powerful parts too, just going back before we jump off Evie's brother James, is when Henry is in that dream and like Lynn can't get in, and then Henry's like, I can only see alive people. Like go into alive people's dreams again. That was one of my favorite parts of the whole book.
Yeah.
So
I
Jericho.
I mean, what is there to be said that
like? I guess we should talk about the fact that he tries to rape Evie while he's hopped up on his Captain America drugs.
Mm-hmm. That was crazy.
Cool. I was a little bit like, are we really doing this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it got the point across. We're all effectively not Team Jericho, but
yeah, for sure.
I was like, man,
the love triangle was good up until that, though. Yeah. It really was. When she was alone in the room with him, and then he was like, "I love you," and then she was like, "What? Like what?" But up until that point, I was feeling it. I was like, "Oh, there's gonna be some good angst."
I agree. Like the love triangle. It was giving me the appropriate amount of angst that I want in this third book.
It was, really
it was hitting all the notes, and then I was just like, we can't come back from an attempt to break thing. We just can't come back from that.
No.
Yeah. Definitely curious to see if he gets
to Sam.
Yeah.
God, Sam.
Yeah.
Oh, Sergey.
I thought that he would have more of a definite shift. I think I'm lagging. Am I lagging?
It's just cutting out a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's okay.
You're good right now, though.
Yeah.
You came back.
I thought we would have more of a definite, like, Jericho is bad. I mean, obviously, like, unexcusable, unapologetic, like, rape. But, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I thought there would be, like, yes, I'm totally with the one guy. I can't think of his name, but you know what I'm saying? Okay, I feel like I'm lagging really bad. You guys talk.
No, you're fine.
You're not lagging at all. But I agree. Like it, and I guess that's maybe the thing with Jericho is that like he's never explicitly a bad guy or like I don't know. But I did feel like I kept thinking like, does he really like Evie or does he just like the idea that he's created for her?
For sure the idea of her.
Yeah. So I just don't know. Like I definitely felt for Jericho. I felt really bad when they sent him to Jake Marlowe.
Yeah.
Like you guys know this is gonna fuck him up. Like he's getting sent to a bad situation. All you know, and like
because we also know that like Evie is a bit of like a master manipulator, and so I think she definitely uses that to her advantage. I mean, I love Evie, but I mean that's definitely a questionable decision, you know.
Yeah, I think it was definitely It was a little sus to send him there in the first place, and that he will now like. What really got me upset is that he's never gonna have closure with Will now.
Mhm.
Because he just basically told Will, he was like, "I'm going back to my real dad's house," and then Will's dead, and Jericho doesn't know that because he's out in the woods of New York somewhere.
Yeah.
And
Long Island.
and just so I was actually kind of sad for Jericho, with the major exception of what happens with him and Evie. And I mean, I was really glad that my ship sailed. I'll be honest.
Oh
But
yeah.
it's sad for him. I'm pretty sure he's gonna die in the next book, though. Like I'd bet money on Jericho dying.
I could see him like being really like self-sacrificing for Evie,
Yes.
like saving Evie's life or something.
Yeah.
Which like, I don't want her to have that on herself.
Mhm.
But he doesn't know about Sam yet.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
He might go full mustache twirler once he finds out about Sam.
That is true.
True.
Evie and Sam, though, I love that.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
scene when they got together, like it was like ooh, but at the same time I was like crying a little bit.
it's
like
really sweet. It's really sweet.
when he tells her like, "I want you to see me," like that fucking broke.
It makes me
Yeah.
beautiful. I love them.
It's a good
so
one.
emotional. I'm like blushing just thinking about it. That's the White Claw for you, though. I loved them together. So many people hooking up in this book too.
A lot of sexy.
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of the sex. I apologize to like the three of you guys because I've told you this many a times, but my favorite part of the book is that one chapter where everyone's hooking up and then Sam's just by himself. I'm thinking of Evie. Oh, thank you, Libba Bray, for really heavy, scary book, and then there's just this break where it's like everybody getting off. Oh man,
You make a good point.
Very funny.
I love that Evie finds out that Sam was taken, and the book doesn't end with a miscommunication, just thinking that he set her up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agree.
And she's like, "I'm going to find my man."
Yeah.
Yay! But then, like, there was also like right at the end, like where Evie's like quits her job and stuff. I'm like, how much time has passed? Because there's been a funeral, and I'm like, how long have you been without Sam? That you're
I think
what's going on here?
I think we're told it's been a couple weeks, like 2 to 3 weeks. So I don't know. But I'm also like, is he okay? I really thought they were going to bring him to his mom.
Yeah.
But then that didn't happen. So I was like, where's Sam? Where's Sergey?
Yeah, I don't know. That's related to Sam's mom.
Yeah, the message that she is able to like send out at the end.
It gave me goosebumps.
I know.
And then it like cuts to all of them being like, huh?
Yeah.
Their spidey senses are tingling.
Yeah.
And when Sam hears it,
I know.
Mama, or whatever. Please, baby.
So sweet.
I
think there's a bit.
He's such a good character. Sorry.
No, I'm flagging like fuck. I think I don't even know. I think there's a big emphasis on relationships with moms. Obviously, Memphis and his mom in the crow form, like or bird form. That was yeah. And then you have Jericho hearing Sam's mom, and then Sam's just like the whole thing. There's like such a thing of like motherhood and like adoptive motherhood, and then like even Evie talking about how when she was little, like she has this vivid memory of like hugging her mom and her mom being like, I'm too fucking busy, and how she felt. I really think that there's like an element in this book about motherhood and nurturing and like how that impacts you and stuff.
And
maybe
Henry's
like a nurture
mom
versus
too.
Yes.
Oh my god, heart wrenching.
Heart. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Let's actually segue, if you guys don't mind. I'm sorry to be like.
Do it. Direct the traffic.
Let's turn left and talk about this big reveal. I guess then, Melanie, going off of your point, this big reveal that the diviners were basically a eugenics program of their own, and that these mothers were given this drug completely unbeknownst to them to have children with special abilities. And they were just told that they were vitamins or it was a tonic. And And with no research, I mean, the connections to modern medicine abound, but no research to the long-term effects on the mother or even on the children. So I guess let's talk about that reveal and what we think, any theories and stuff. Because I feel like I should have seen it coming, but I was truly shook that they were like doing this prenatal experimentation.
Mm-hmm.
I think what's so surprising about it is that it shouldn't have been surprising. Like, it's really like something that would fucking happen in the United States. You know, like it's something that would totally happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I think because this is like a fantasy series, you don't think it's going to take like the logical path.
Yeah.
And so it was really interesting.
I think
especially
it's a very
since she's shoving eugenics in her face the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, huh.
And I think it's like important to emphasize how like they did this off like immigrants and you know, and like people that like weren't better, weren't Christian or whatever. And I think that that's like very important to note as well.
Oh yeah, because the government viewed those people as expendable, you know, and still does, you know.
Yeah. And then it was really interesting because like obviously that was the government, like obviously that's the government's mentality behind it. But I thought it was also really interesting when Margaret Walker is like, do you like you didn't want our people to be a part of this? Like this could be the next step in what it means to be an American, and I wasn't gonna let our people be left behind. And it was just like I love Margaret Walker so much. Like this book really cemented it. I was like, I love Sister Walker.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah.
I also find it really interesting, and I think it'll be interesting to see like in the last book, how we kind of have two different, not generations, but two different age groups of these diviners. We have like James and Luther and their age, and then we have, you know, Evie, Sam, the whole crew. So interesting.
And then also characters that are not foreshadowed. I mean, they're in the story. The sisters who live in the building.
The Proctor sisters.
Yeah, like obviously they have things to do with the story, and I'm just like, what's gonna come of this? Like the witches in the building.
I loved seeing Theta like learn how to be a witch with Addie Proctor.
It was amazing. And getting the cat too.
It's like now you're familiar.
I'm gonna count these cats every time I come over.
Yeah.
And I love when Addie Proctor is like, you like basically telling Theta like, you just need to burn. You want to like, you just need to let it burn. And I was like, oh shit. So good.
God, Theta's such a bad bitch. Shall we talk about Theta?
Sure.
Oh wait. Do we think James and Blind Bill ever met?
Maybe
so.
They're probably no.
I don't think so.
Because Bill's the same age as like Will and them. And then I guess Luther and James would probably be like mid-20s, early 20s.
Well, I think the government was just keeping Bill so under lock and key, like separate from everything else.
Yeah.
Okay. I loved Theta's storyline in this book.
Yeah.
I hated it at first. I hate the trope of, you know, Roy comes back and so she's gonna have to, like, I totally get it, you know, she's gonna have to forgo Memphis because it's better for him. But it resolves so nicely, and I love the journey that she goes on.
And I love that when it resolves, she's literally like, here's what happened. I'm sorry. I love you. I want to love you. And then Memphis doesn't even bat an eye. He's like, I'll protect, like, you know.
Yeah.
I just love Theta and Memphis.
They're such a freaking good relation. I love them.
Theta and Isaiah too.
Yes.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yes. That was like my favorite part. And like they're my OTP too. Like Memphis and Theta are my OTP in this series too. So it's just like it just hits. And I feel like this book, I feel like they were the stars of this book too.
Oh yeah.
In a lot of ways, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Definitely. I loved Theta and Isaiah at the carnival. When like Isaiah's getting scared and Theta's running to him. I was just like,
yeah. I just love Isaiah hanging out with the big kids.
Yeah.
It's really sweet. And them all just like kind of adopting him as their brother
too. Them all treating him so like when they're interacting with Isaiah, they are so like just like their personality. It's like like Sam fucked around with him, you know, and like it's great.
It's so sweet. But I will say his vision that he gets at the carnival, like I was crying. So I was like, I forgot that, and it was like so upsetting to read.
It was like there were a lot of parts of this book that were really, really upsetting. Just there's so many things, especially so many things about like the ghosts and this whole idea of being forgotten, and the fact that our country is like built on ghosts and built on past that we would rather not have to remember collectively. And it was just really, really, oh, man. Like Libba Bray just when I think she can't amaze me more, she gets it.
That was my favorite scene of the whole entire book, was when Memphis goes to confront the ghosts, and he's like, I'm gonna cry. He's like, what's your name? And the guy like looks up, and he's like, I lost it. Oh my god, that shit hits so hard in 2020, you know?
Because it feels like the like danger of forgetting like the human cost, like the actual human cost of all these horrible things.
And it's true. It's like, what does it mean to be American, you know? And it's like, instead of like embracing, like we can all say like, oh, we like this melting pot and stuff, but it's like instead white people are like, oh, we're gonna be extinct, you know? And they want to ignore like all the bloodletting that happened to like, you know, build this country not that long ago, you know?
I agree. This is a huge I guess for anyone watching who doesn't know, I studied history in college. I had my master's in it, and I focused in collective memory as a historical method, and what it means for a group of people to share a collective memory of a historical event and way that historical events get memorialized. And there is this whole idea that like and there's even a quote somewhere in the book, I didn't mark it stupidly, but basically it's about like this whole idea that the winners write history, and they can write out whatever parts they don't want to share. But at the end of Libba Bray's author's note, this was probably my favorite line of the whole freaking book. Was in the author's note, and she's talking about how this idea of like we the people, but what people? What does that mean? But she ends it by saying, "This is a book about ghosts, for we live in a haunted house." And I swear to you, I sobbed for like 10 minutes when I read that, because it's so true. And like as a historian, that is like it hit especially close, but also just like living in America right now when things are, you know, pretty fucked up. It really hit. But so I just love that. Like when I read that line, I was like, I think I love this book even more.
Like these books are obviously masterpieces, but like her author's note every time just fucking hits it. Like if you're not notes, read the author's notes.
And it also just shows how intentional she's being about like every facet of this story, which I really appreciate too.
Nothing is coincidental. There's a lot of care in what she chooses to include and highlight in this book, which I really respect about an author when they really make that effort to be very careful with the kind of more politically charged points, because she's not just saying like America's racist. She's saying like, look at the fucked up shit we still refuse to come to terms with and own up to, and this is how it can manifest. Obviously this is in like a paranormal setting. It's kind of reminiscent of like Everyone Loves the Monsters of Verity series by Victoria Schwab, and the idea that violence can make monsters, but what does a monster look like in the Diviners? It looks like American politics in the 1920s. So yeah, I mean, I fucking love these books. Like this is probably my favorite part of the whole book. It's just like text. It's so good. Good.
And I also think like while we're talking about social commentary too, like it could have, the asylum scenes could have easily been like cheap, you know, and like, you know, thrown in just for the horror elements, as they like so often are. But I thought that the social commentary in those scenes was really important and really necessary. And it made those scenes, you know, not as it made them more impactful because it didn't feel like a cheap shot, you know.
Agreed. I also, speaking of the asylum and disability rep, I love that Ling was present throughout this whole book. Obviously, Ling has a disability that affects her, like, being able to walk and to, like, keep up with everyone else in these intense situations. And the fact that Libba Bray was like, no, I'm not going to have her conveniently stay home that night. Like, we're going to put her ass in a wheelchair and she's going along for the ride. Like, like Ling is never sidelined because of that. And I mean, like, I guess it seems obvious, but that, like, no one else is ever like, Ling, maybe you should stay home. Like, I mean, I fucking love Ling Chan, but as we all
Her
do.
scene with Memphis.
Yeah.
Yes.
Her scene with Memphis too is really powerful when Memphis is like, you've never asked me to heal you, you know, and I was like, baby, no, like, Kale, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really powerful.
Yeah, I love that. Love her.
I also really appreciated Libba Bray's discussion of like interracial relationships and how like when Theta's talking about Memphis and she's like, oh, well, what about Ling's parents, you know, and she's like, well, they do stay in Chinatown, but she still acknowledged that it's different when you're Black, you know, and I really appreciated and like loved that too. Like Libba Bray like is very careful with what she says and she's very thoughtful with what she says.
Yeah.
Because that's the truth of it. Like you can be marginalized, but like, you know, like it's still different when you're a Black person living in America. It's different, you know, and I really appreciate that.
I agree. I really love that. That she doesn't shy away from the nuances and everything. And I also loved, going off of what you were saying, Melanie, we get a more explicit discussion about the fact that Ling is what we would today call ace or aromantic, or on the ace spectrum. We get an actual conversation about that. How productive it was, I guess, is like TBD, but I love that it happened.
Yeah.
And I really like that relationship. I want it to work out.
It's really sweet. It's really sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, that scene when Ling is like in Alma's, like seeing Alma's dream somehow, you know, like watching her dance in a dream. Maybe it's Ling's dream and she's just dreaming of Alma. I don't know. But oh, so sweet.
Yeah. And when Alma's like, I need to stop falling for. I didn't say that. Okay. Just be patient.
No. That's not what I said. Okay.
I love that a lot.
Yeah. I also just, I mean, Ling is my favorite character, and I think she adds something so fun to the group dynamic because she's so dry and witty and like just so no nonsense.
Yeah. She has the best inner monologue too, because she's like the grumpy character that's soft. And even with Henry, she's like, how do I tell him I love him? He's my best friend. I'm not gonna. We should do that. We should say who our favorite character, because I feel like this book solidified my favorite character.
Yeah.
Being Memphis is my favorite character.
Mine is Ling, like I said, but Indy's a close second.
Yeah. Oh, and she's a close second for me. Okay. Kelsey, Jane.
I used to think it was Theta, but Aldo says Ling. I don't know. I really have one. Maybe Evie. I feel like I really
like you fucking love Evie.
Oh my god. We're all gonna have different ones then, I think. Okay.
Okay. My favorite is Ling. But my second, very close behind her, is Sam.
I thought you were gonna put him first. I thought you were gonna do it.
It was freaking close. It was so close. This book really I cried so much over freaking Sam in this book. I can't even. But I love Ling. Like I really I just got a soft spot in my heart for Ling. Maybe I'm Henry and she just means the most to me.
Ling gets more like front page time in the next.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys have thought about this, but like the first book follows like two characters. The second book follows like two characters. Who do we think the next book is going to follow?
I don't know, because they're all split. Like,
I think Sam
yeah. The third book, the first time I read it, I really was like, this is Mabel and Jericho's book. But reading it back, I'm like, this isn't really Mabel or Jericho's book.
Theta's book.
Yeah, it's Theta's book.
Yeah.
I'm wondering who the next book is going to be.
Oh,
the book is
Memphis for sure. I think Memphis is separate from everyone.
Yeah. I also think Memphis
true.
is the key to the resolution of this because he's a healer. And that's such a, like, that's been, his power has been emphasized multiple times, like by the King of Crows, like by everyone. So I think
Memphis has the closest relationship with the King of Crows.
Mhm.
And I think it could ultimately come down between the two of them. Like, I expect the showdown to be Memphis and the King of Crows.
Mm-hmm.
And Edie, like, as much as her power has been so important leading up to now, like, we're not in the past anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sam's power, now that he's been outed, isn't really as, like, useful.
Yeah. I think what Neville's saying, sorry, I just keep referring to you as Neville. You're my best friend, by the way. I think Neville's right that it's going to be different this time in that it's going to be split between the different groups. So like one Memphis, Isaiah, and Bill, Sam, wherever he is, that will provide some other story context, and then like the rest of the crew trying to figure out how to solve the rift.
Yeah. I also think that Sarah Beth, that creepy ass farm girl, is going to get a lot of perspective chapters because it appears as though they're all headed west because they keep getting told head west.
Yeah.
They're totally going to Bountiful, Nebraska. Like,
no. Wouldn't it be wild if Memphis meets up with them somehow? Like if they end up.
I think that's exactly what is going to happen. Also, I think Ghost Mabel and Ghost Will are going to, for sure, make appearances.
I would hate that, but yes.
I didn't think of that.
There's no way it's not happening. Right?
Wow. I didn't either.
But like
You're
the thought
doggone
of
genius.
Sarah Snow makes me want to gouge my eyes out. So.
Oh my god, what if she's like
she's gonna be even more powerful because she's gonna come back as a ghost.
And people will remember her.
Yeah.
Bitch. God damn it.
Yeah.
Do we think Sam's mom is going to have to die?
I think she's probably goner.
I think Sam's mom is 1,000% dying. They're gonna have enough time to tearfully reunite, and then she did. Like and that's how that's gonna play out.
Herself for him.
Yeah. There's something I wanted to say earlier. I can't remember. Oh, very quickly, just to circle back to Ling and Henry for like 1 second. There's a scene. It was just like thrown in the middle of a paragraph, but it stuck out to me so much in that like they're all at the Museum of the Creepy Crawlies working on their diviner's business. And I think it's Memphis or someone or Sam who's walking in to the museum and observing everyone. And Ling is sitting on the sofa and Henry's leaning back against it and he has her crutches, like he's holding onto her crutches. And it was just like this cute little domestic moment. And I was just so
sweet.
They're best friends.
Henry and Ling.
What a dynamic duo. I love them together. Although like I obviously love Henry and Theta, but I feel like they're very much like diverging kind of. Not that their friendship is deteriorating, but their storylines are putting them on different.
They're very much like siblings. Always, no matter what, each other's most important person.
Yeah.
But like, you know.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I was just looking at my notes and I had a brain blast.
Mm-hmm.
We were just talking about Sarah Snow coming back. What if she is talking to Jake Marlowe through his ghost transcriber, and that's how she comes back?
Oh yeah, without question.
Who's that?
I love it.
Sarah Snow and Jake Marlowe. What the fuck is?
I know.
Because so like I get why it's happening, like because the public would love that, you know, America's #1 guy, and like
I couldn't figure out how much of it was real and how much of it was a staged relationship, much like Taylor Swift and Harry Styles in 2016. You know,
well, they're both so like power hungry. I mean, they both want the notoriety.
Her first husband. Did you guys pick up on that?
What about her first husband? She totally killed him, right?
Totally killed him.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
For sure.
He died so young and tragically. And I was
I
like,
know.
I have a feeling though that obviously I don't think obviously wow words, what are they? I don't know them. I don't think it's real on Jake's part. I think there's a part of him that's never going to get over Radka and will spite everyone because of it. But I definitely could see Sarah Snow being like, Mr. Jake Marlowe, make me a good Christian woman. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that'll be interesting. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see. I mean, obviously, Jake Marlowe made a deal with the King of Crows. And I think it'll be interesting to see him kind of like feel like he's at the end of his rope. Like Jake Marlowe at the end of this book, he's just kind of like hold himself up. He feels like he's lost everything. And now something's coming through that like ghost receiver thing. I think he's going to be much more desperate in book 4.
I think he'll definitely make the dead list in book 4.
Yeah. I can't remember who I told this to. Maybe it was Madeline, but I also had like a brain blast at some point. I was like, maybe this is me, because I got so deep in my like theory crafting while I was reading this book. But I was like, it's so interesting to me that Jake Marlowe is called Jake, and they use the expression everything's Jake. And in this version of 1920s New York, everything is Jake Marlowe. Marlowe is everywhere. He's behind the eugenics movement. He's building a better America. He's got this huge exhibition. Everyone uses Jake Marlowe products, wants to be like Jake Marlowe. So everything literally is Jake. And that actually is like the big villain, like him and the King of Crows. And so he's kind of unassuming in the first couple books. You think he's just this like dickhead. But in this book, I think it becomes more apparent that he's actually behind something really sinister. I don't know. Maybe that's me getting like.
No, I think that's 100% valid.
Like, yeah, but sometimes I'm like, Libba Bray is that smart though. Yeah, she's that smart. I don't know.
And nothing is a coincidence. Literally nothing.
Yeah. I want to talk about more theories too, but I feel like we should talk about Mabel and the anarchists and the explosion and stuff before.
Madeline, you should talk about how last live show we discussed the one line in book 2 that spoils all of book 3.
Yeah. So hold on, I have the exact wording somewhere. Yeah, so we talked about this last live show for Layer of Dreams, but in Layer of Dreams, there is one line in like a very unassuming scene. It's the scene where T.S. Woodhouse is like at the press conference for the Future of America exhibition. And on his way out, T.S. Woodhouse runs into Arthur Brown. And Woodhouse is like, hold on, where is this wording?
I texted it to you earlier today.
I know. Okay, I found it. So T.S. Woodhouse says like, oh, this exhibit's really going to make a big bang. And Arthur Brown says, it surely will.
Dun, dun, dun.
Libba Bray's mind. I just fucking can't.
Like, seriously, the biggest spoiler for the last book, like, just thrown in the middle, and you would never guess it if you were just a first-time reader.
Never. Like, why would you?
And just the fact that, like, I mean, Mabel is led to believe that, you know, the Secret Six, like, they're just planning this on the fly, just when the need arises. But, like, no, that idea has clearly been brewing for months and months and months.
Yeah, and then Mabel's death. Oh, my God. The description of it. Like, earlier when we were in the group chat about, like, how as soon as Libba says, like, she felt the bullet puncture her spinal cord, it was like,
oh my God, it was so sad.
Yeah. The anarchist plotline is so interesting.
I hated it.
I felt really bad.
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
I really hated it. I hated all of them, like the characters. And I mean, obviously Arthur Brown was kind of a dickbag. And I don't know. I never ended up feeling any real sympathy for him. I don't know if we were even supposed to by the end of it. Maybe so.
I kind of did. Not sympathy for him, but sympathy for the situation he was in.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah. And when he like expressed remorse about when they blew up his mine and they killed all the immigrant workers and their families and stuff, like that shit fucked me up really, really hard. So like I felt, like he acknowledged that, like how fucked up that was and how much that made him hurt. I feel also like not to make everything a fucking mirror of each other, but I also think it's really beautiful how Libba Bray made it so that we get to see Mabel being this impressionable girl, and not to exclude non-binary people, but we get to see Mabel be like, oh, this impressionable girl, and then because of this guy she likes, and then we get to see Jericho be an impressionable boy because of this man of power. And I really think that those juxtapositions are really beautifully done too.
That's true.
I agree.
And also, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but like, we don't have confirmation that Arthur Brown died, do we? Like, it's never. I mean, there's no way he didn't theoretically, but it's never stated. I don't think.
I mean, you're not wrong.
True. I don't know.
I mean, and if it wasn't stated, I mean, this woman is nothing if not deliberate.
Yeah, true.
So I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe that's an out there theory, but.
Yeah, but I think if he did survive it, he wouldn't have made it far because the Shadowmen were there to kill him anyway.
Yeah, but like I say, we never get closure on that. So I have to feel that's deliberate.
They're not gone. So
yeah.
Not to take away from this if we want to keep talking, but do we maybe this is just me being bad, like reading comprehension, but Aunt Octavia too, which like she ended up being a badass bitch at the end.
Yeah,
but,
we
like,
don't know what
we
happened.
didn't really. Yeah, and like I even like quoted it, like you will not get what's mine. Like I'm like, and she like talks about her aunt or her sister and having to raise these boys, and I'm just like, damn, she was the resident sleeper. That shit.
Yeah,
I know.
But I'm like, we didn't get confirmation that she did. You know,
I don't think she did.
I would hope that she survived. I think she probably survived.
I kind of have the unfortunate feeling that the Shadowmen took her to use her as leverage for Memphis.
Yeah. I bet you're right. That's really good. I bet you're right.
I just keep thinking about how the next book there's only 560 pages. How is
that means that you can't catch your breath. Libba Bray is on our throats the whole time.
Yeah.
From page 1, shit's getting fucked.
This is 560 pages, Chelsea. This is the same link.
Wow.
Maybe the margins are different in the first ones. I'll have to look at my editions.
I don't know.
So
yeah, that's true too.
Yeah. So what do we think the government's end game is here?
I think that they're probably like, oh, we fucked up. And I think that they want to get rid of all the diviners.
But it seems as though maybe they want to make a deal with like the King of Crows.
Yeah, that's what I was confused about, is like how far down the King of Crows thing goes with the government. That was surprising to me to find out that the government knew about the King of Crows.
Yeah. And we're actively seeking people who had spoken to him.
Yeah. That was, I don't know.
And it's like, is Jake Marlowe working with the government? I mean, clearly they haven't arrested him. And they,
He was working with the military.
I'm also just so interested in finally learning, like I hope we get a Deathly Hallows or like a Half-Blood Prince-esque backstory chapter on the King, because I would love to know like a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because he says something like towards the end when they have that first like meeting with him, he says something along the lines of like, I'm older than this country, I'm older than its evils or whatever, and it's just like, I would like to know more, please. Can you give me some context?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get more.
Oh.
But I want more. Because I think that like we're just supposed to, I think the King of Crows is a figment, or not a figment, like a figurehead for the evil, and it's just like a representation of.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's born of like, America's sins.
Sure.
It would be interesting to see where we end this, like where we collectively end this series, because I was thinking about this time around, like the the Great Depression is a mere 2-ish years away at this point.
Yeah, World War II.
Yeah. Well, we're a little bit out, but what I mean is like is the ending of this book going to set up the Great Depression? Like, is something going to happen to America spiritually? I don't know.
And like, not even just America, but like two of our main characters, Evie and Theta, are now jobless.
Yeah.
Like, what's going to happen to them? Like, where do their individual futures go?
Yeah.
You know?
And just in general, like this whole book, like every single freaking like note I take is always like the American dream, the American dream. What makes America great? Make America great again, even though it was never fucking great. Like that's the whole theme of this. So it's just like this is like an alternative paranormal historical version of like our world, and like again, like all the terrible acts that were committed in the name of this great America. So it's like, where is she gonna cut off? Like, is she gonna be like, oh, P.S. don't fuck up in 2020, kids? You know, like it's really interesting where it's gonna end.
What if they lose, and the King of Crows is like,
I'm gonna tell you what it would kill me, but it would be genius too.
Yeah. Then I was like,
yeah, that would be wild. I really do think she's gonna throw us some hope, though.
I would hope so.
I think she will be more inclined to write an ending that has a bit of hope, given how closely this mirrors our current society. But obviously, like Jane said, she still has real history to contend with. So can't revise that.
Fucking dropping bombs on all of us in the chat right now.
Really good. Sure.
Oh, I love that idea so much.
Please.
Fucking Jane.
God, sorry,
That's funny.
So we're hitting the hour mark now. Do we have any theories for book 4? Because now we're all caught up. I don't have to hide my spoiler faces anymore. We're all on the same page here.
Yeah, I've been spouting mine all live shows, so I'll let someone else go for it.
I just, plot-wise, like, I'm just along for the ride.
I hope that James is okay and him and Evie can have a good relationship at the end, but I don't know, man. I think that I keep saying the American dream thing, but it's also how like Americans treat soldiers and stuff. So I don't know what Libba's gonna do, but I just want to see at least Evie and James have a moment.
I think that they will have a moment, and that Evie's gonna have which fucking person am I talking about? James is gonna have to. I think that they're gonna have a moment, and they're gonna reach, and then like to help heal the divide or whatever, he's gonna have to stay in the land of the dead. I don't think he's gonna come back. I think they're gonna have a very tearful reunion, and he's gonna have to sacrifice. Like he's gonna have to.
Yeah,
which I don't want, but
especially considering he makes such a case for like when Luther is trying to get him to desert with him, saying like, I'm not a deserter. I love this country. This is my country. Like,
so sad.
Yeah.
So sad.
I wonder if Theta will die.
Oh.
After all that she's been through, she better fucking not.
If they pull a Dark Phoenix on her, if they treat her like Jean Grey, I'll be so mad.
I think that we are going to get the satisfaction of this gang destroying Roy once and for all, though, in this final book. And that'll be wonderful.
Agreed. God, there's just like, there's so much that could happen.
Yeah.
We still have to find out about Radka. Like, we don't know who the fuck is she? Where's she at? What's happening?
Presumably with Jane. Well, that was the interesting thing. Is because like I was like, oh, she got beamed up with James and company. But then when there's another flashback scene and this guy is talking to Will and he's like, did that really happen to her? Like, did it, like, it made it seem like like, I don't know, like she had maybe been transfigured in some way. I don't know. But,
that's true.
It made it seem like she wasn't abducted by the aliens with the rest of them. I don't know. It'll be interesting. What if she shows up and she looks at Evie and she's like, you look just like your father?
I hope.
We don't know.
After you denounced it, I hope.
Oh man.
I'm sure that Evie and Will have a touching moment. Ghost Will.
Because they never got to like make peace either.
They're
That was
gonna
the
work
really
it out.
sad part about Will's death is that like he didn't get any kind of closure with him, which I guess is just a sad part about death in general. But
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Will just had like such a sad life too. You know, you just feel bad for him all around.
Yeah.
Although he did drug his sister unbeknownst to her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, very true.
She gave her he gave her sick kid a drug he had no idea if it would work or not.
Yeah.
You're telling me there's a chance. Yeah, it's fucked up. I just did a Dumb and Dumber. Oh shit.
Let's see.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Madeline hit like so many ones that I wouldn't have even thought of. The Sarah Snow ghost was fucking genius. I think that Aunt Octavia thing is fucking genius.
I have one. It's not really a theory formed yet, but it was something that really stood out to me that I was like, oh, I wonder if this is going to come back in a way. It's just this like offhanded quote, and it's obviously where the title of the book comes from, but it's I think it was Miss Addie who says this, and she says, "Before the devil breaks you, first he will make you love him." And I was like, are our characters gonna go through some shit in the next book where it's like maybe they do want the King of Crows to succeed? Like, I don't know, because he can promise them a lot of things. He can give James back to Evie. He could give Memphis and Isaiah their mom back, and it's like, I don't know. But also that quote just was like, put that on 10 different emo Spotify playlists, you know?
Yeah.
I would like to think characters would know that they're literally making a deal with the devil.
Yeah.
But it's also like people make deals with the devil because the devil offers them
what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Like what about what's her name? Addie and
Elijah.
Yeah. Oh, that was,
I think that
I think Zach's gonna die.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Melanie. I didn't mean to talk over you.
No, I don't know what's up with my internet. I think my internet's being weird. I don't know. Oh, I was saying, I think Isaiah will obviously, like, he's the important diviner, obviously, and like he obviously with the creepy little girl, what's her name, Sarah Beth or whatever. Obviously, they're kind of mirrors, pillars to each other, you know, and so
Isaiah and Memphis are definitely like the two power players for sure.
Yeah, I think they're the key to how this all resolves.
I do too.
Yeah,
because Isaiah is somehow
and their
connected
mom
to this girl. Yeah.
Isaiah
somehow connected to this girl, so I think he's how they're gonna find her.
Yeah.
And I get really bad vibes from Sarah Beth.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, it's just odd because it seems like she is already so in so deep with the King of Crows, but then you flash to her just like chilling at home and just like having these visions and predicting what's going to happen and saying like the King of Crows is coming, but they're also coming.
Yeah.
And it's like, is she? She is still in our world, but is she also in the King of Crows world? Does she fully belong to him? We don't know.
Weird.
I don't know.
It's also weird, like Memphis's and Isaiah's mom too. Like, not to be like ranking people, but like his mom obviously like differently with like two powerhouse sons, and then like something went wrong with Memphis's healing to take it away so that she couldn't live. So like I don't know. I just feel like there's going to be so much to get uncovered there. Why Memphis's mom is different, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, are any of the moms healthy?
Evie's mom is.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, we don't know her. Yeah.
In the brief glimpse we get of her, she seems to be fine.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking about too when we found out that it was like certain, like the diviners were created.
Yeah.
Like it has seemingly had negative effects on a lot of the mothers.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, that's true. Evie's mom, aside from being a bad parent.
Maybe behavioral problems. Maybe it caused some type of like I think there's a medical term for this, where like the mother like becomes repulsed by the child and doesn't want to care for it. Something like that. Maybe that's what happened. I don't know.
Yeah.
No.
But then Sam's mom, I guess, was fine.
But look at
No.
Yeah, she's also a diviner.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's all interesting. It's very interesting.
I can't wait for that Sam and Evie reunion moment.
Oh, it's gonna be so great.
I hope it happens in the first half. Oh God, I'm sorry.
Yeah, really. I don't want to have to spend so much time separated.
Yeah.
Unless Sam's with his mom, then it's like cool, fine, sure. You can take as much time as you need. But
Oh yeah.
all right.
Any other theories? Anyone have any questions, things you want to talk about?
Trying to think what else.
Sorry, I cannot stop yawning. I'm so tired for the move.
You're good.
You got a lot of excitement.
It's been a week, let me tell you.
Trying to think. Oh, right before Will dies, I can't remember what exactly it is, but like he sent Margaret Walker to get those files.
Yeah.
So I guess we're finally going to learn something about Project Buffalo or the whole Diviners thing.
I mean, I would hope so. It's the last book.
Yeah.
I hope we're
But
left.
what I mean is that I think that's going to come out early.
Yeah. Because
Like,
is she still gonna send it to the papers?
And yeah.
My assumption is that she'll probably track down Evie.
Yeah.
And this will be how the book starts.
Yeah.
Yes. And she also has to be the one to tell Theta that Memphis left.
Yeah.
Because now Will promised he would do that, and he is not around to do that.
Oh my god, poor Theta.
I know.
They've all been through it, man.
I'm wondering if maybe, like, since Isaiah and Theta bonded so much in this book, maybe Isaiah will be able to, like, get messages to her somehow now. I don't think that's going to happen, but maybe.
Well, maybe Henry and Ling can try to get into their dreams.
Yeah.
And converse that way.
I could totally see Henry talking to Memphis in a dream.
Yes.
We will do a live show when King of Crows is released.
100.
It might just be an hour of us all screaming.
Yeah.
We'll be, like, eating chocolate in our pajamas. Like,
It'll be a lot. I was kind of surprised. I was like, how long does it take Jericho to get to the city?
Yeah.
He like disappears at like 3/4 of the way through the book and still doesn't make it to New York by the end of it.
I know.
Super soldier. Well, I mean, yeah, but
he's also running out of serum, which found out is diviner blood. Bleh.
Yeah.
Jericho's a vampire.
That was a little fucked up too. That was another thing. I was like, God, I should have seen this fucking coming. We should have known. We should have known. But also that he's been drinking it? Has he been drinking it? Has he been injecting it?
I don't know.
Is he a vampire? Is he a vampire what Kelsey said? Is he a diviner vampire?
Hot. Love that.
Never. Oh my god.
He's gonna get with Raphael and Lily Chen in New York on that club.
Oh my god. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think it'll be interesting because I'm sure Jericho will show up while Sam is still missing. And he'll be like, Evie, take me back. And she'll be like, bitch, I love Sam now. And he's going to have to go through that whole emotional story.
I kind of have a feeling that Jericho knows that his ship has failed. Yeah. And I think he knows that it's his own fault.
Yeah, that's true.
So not that he deserves a redemption arc or will have like, I think he will know that, like, okay, I need to not.
Yeah. Oh, seriously, I don't think that. I think that he's gonna, like, shit's gonna hit the fan when he finds out Evie and Sam are together. I think that's when, like I said, he could turn into a bad guy. I'm the bad guy. I think that'll be when.
His villain origin story.
Yeah, well, because I think especially he has well, I mean, not all on his own. Sam definitely contributes to this as well. But I think he really sees Sam as like his what am I trying to say?
Mortal enemy.
Yeah, like as an enemy, as like his competition, his main competition. And he's like, I think that will set him off more. The fact that like Evie wants Sam instead of him.
Yeah. And even like he's like, I'm hotter now, I'm bigger and broader now, and like, oh Sam, and then it's like, oh fuck, it didn't work anyways, you know.
CGI
yeah.
Yeah. Very complicated feelings about everyone this time around.
Yeah.
It was interesting also that like the building that they live in, the Bennington, has been around forever and ever and ever as this like protective ward place.
I know.
That was really interesting. And
Will totally chose that deliberately.
Yeah.
And Theta and Henry were probably drawn there by something, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. The diviner power man.
The movie with the creepy crawlies being what was her name?
What?
The people
girl.
Where did it from?
Oh, Liberty Ann?
Yeah.
The Rathbone. Cornelius Rathbone.
Yeah.
Little things.
Mm-hmm.
So many like connections, like just barely in this book, and then next book's gonna be like blowing it all up.
Yeah. I don't know much, but I know that none of us are ready.
That's very true.
Yeah. And I have a feeling that she's really just gonna throw us for 100 loops.
Yeah.
Like, we have all these theories, and like, sure, maybe that'll be like the beginning of something, and then she's just gonna flip it.
Oh, absolutely.
Past what we could ever imagine.
And we're gonna feel so stupid for not having seen it coming.
And that's exactly what it is about Libba Bray's books. Like, every single thing, it's like, how did I not see that coming? Because she foreshadows everything. I guarantee every single thing that's happening in the next book, if we go back and read the first 3, we'll be like, oh my god, it's right here on page 2 of the first book. Like,
when Madeline told me that Jake Marlowe was referenced on the very first page, or like maybe in the first sentence, I can't remember now, that literally fucked me up so bad. Like, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
He's everywhere.
And let's not forget that book 4 is going to end with, and Gemma Doyle, or Gemma whatever, walks through the door.
Oh my god. Oh, yeah, I really do. Again, I know I've said this in previous live shows. I think we're going to get a Gemma appearance.
And you have to tell me, because I'll probably miss it being the dumbass, but it's just fun.
We'll see.
The King of Crows, that like the other side is where they go.
You mean like the realms?
Yeah.
I think they're related somehow, for sure.
What if Gemma Doyle is the King of Crows? You're here to hear her first?
No way. Absolutely not. I will never. I am actually planning on rereading that series like November, December, January. So that trilogy. And so I'm going to take notes and see what possible connections there might be. I don't know, Melanie, will you be able to make it through that?
This is the thing. Like, I really didn't like the first one, but and that's why I didn't want to read The Diviners, because I was like, it's so overhyped. But I'm like, I loved this so much with my whole heart that I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll cut her some slack, you know? And it was Gemma Doyle, her debut as well. I don't know.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so like she probably
not in like 2003 or something.
Yeah, you know, so when did this come out? Was this 2017 or 18?
That was 17.
Imagine waiting 3 years. Oh, we only have to wait.
Imagine, I lived it.
I was gonna say, me and Chelsea have been living that. So
that's why I don't like to read like
ongoing series.
Yeah. It's especially weird for me because like I don't ever read series, so it's been fucking weird. It's weird.
I know. You say that like fucking you weren't biting at the bit for Queen of Nothing still. Like, no, I'm like, that's just our life, you know. You just gotta wait. I live Vampire Academy. I know this life, you know.
Oh my god, TBT.
TBT.
Maybe I'll read
Speaking of vampires. Did you just say you're gonna reread Vampire Academy? I kind of want to, but I'm like, Melanie,
you can read them all in like a week.
Yeah, they're
I don't
really
know.
quick.
But if Tithe taught me anything, it's like, bitch, oh, like leave them on their pedestals where they.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have not read Beauty Queens. I owned it forever and then eventually unhold it because I just never read it.
I actually really enjoyed Beauty Queens. It does get really mixed reviews. There's some iffy content, especially pertaining to a trans character. Again, I think it is like Gemma Doyle. It came out later than Gemma Doyle, maybe 2011, maybe 2010, 2011, maybe later. I think it came out before The Diviners, but it does read a little dated, but I love Beauty Queens. I just love Libba Bray's humor. It really gets me.
I read, what was that? Going Bovine.
Yeah, one of the weirdest books ever written.
Weird. I did
I
not
want
like
to
that one.
reread that one. I haven't read it since it came out.
It's literally like, it's just like a fever dream. Like literally a fever dream.
It is, yeah.
The whole book it's ugh.
I will say, if anyone, I feel like not a lot of people have read this, but if you are looking to like love Libba Bray even more as a person, she wrote an essay in this collection of essays. It's nonfiction, so it's essays by different young adult authors called Hope Nation. It came out in 2018, I think, and she wrote an essay in there that I loved. It was about how, I don't know if you guys know, she has a glass eye. One of her eyes, and it was like the accident that she was in, and it was just so good, and it made me love her even more as a person.
I haven't read it. I'll have to read it.
Yeah, not like an overly impressive collection all around, but that essay and a couple others are great.
I can probably find just her essay online somewhere.
Maybe.
Or in the library, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Full disclosure, it is fucking so windy here. It's like absolutely insane, and I think that it's like really fucking with my internet. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like wild outside. Like I'm like, what the hell? So I think that's why it's like messing up. Which I'm like, oh, I got League of Legends tonight. We can't be doing it. Okay.
You're actually clearer right now than I think you've been, for me at least, like the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're
I'm
good
so
right now.
sorry. I'm so sorry. Jeez,
No.
it feels better right now. But I'm like, God, I don't know. I should have tried to reset it or something. I don't know.
You're fine.
Melanie, guess what? I'm sorry, y'all. I freaked out earlier because I apologize to make everything about BTS, but Big Hit is okay. So BTS is the final. They're bringing it to movie theaters.
Wow, that's really fucking cool.
Anyway, sorry.
You know BTS.
BTS. Sorry, y'all.
You're
It's
fine.
been an overwhelming 2 days for me, just so everyone.
How many people are in here? The 30 people who are in here, y'all just mute me at fucking what, 8 or 9 o'clock tomorrow when it's midnight Korean time because I'm gonna be annoying. So heads up.
It's okay.
I already hate it for me.
So can't relate.
Oh my god, yeah. No, you going through it this week too. Damn. That music video, is it a music video? I don't know. I saw it though, and I saw the dude, and I was like,
It's a music video. It's an orgy, but it's a music video.
On National Coming Out Day, releasing a music video of him living his best life, and I just love him a lot.
Yeah.
But that's really cool that they're bringing it to theater. There's more Vegas booktubers than I thought. I feel like I keep seeing them on Twitter now, and I'm like, y'all want to be friends? Y'all want to go to see BTS with me?
Who else is in Vegas? I know Maddie lives in Vegas.
Maddie was just people I don't know, but I saw them like talking about something like that, and I was like, "What? Like that's so weird." Solomon lives in Vegas, but he doesn't really make booktube that much. But yeah, I just saw like people talking. I was like, "What?" Like it's just wild to me. I say that like I leave my house besides work, you know. Jokes.
I was gonna text you guys because I don't know what triggered this, but I keep getting targeted ads on both YouTube and Instagram for New Orleans, like New Orleans tourism ads. I was like, what is the universe trying to tell me?
I want those ads.
Telling you to come visit me.
2020.
I thought you're gonna say a Park Jimin birthday. Oh shit. 2020.
Can't do anything else for the rest of the year because my rent went up quite a bit.
Well,
But
2020 is gonna be a wild year.
oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I wish I was one of those people who could work remotely, because then I wouldn't be on the ground in 2020. Too much going on.
Yeah.
Too many places to go.
Hard same.
Oh my god.
Well,
Is there anything else that we want to say about Before the Devil Breaks You? Does anyone have any questions or comments or things they hope to see in the fourth book?
I do want to say,
Sorry.
what did I want to say? Oh yeah, to all of you who have like participated in this read along with us, like just thanks for reading with us. We've had a really good time, and it was like the perfect spooky fall, going into fall kind of thing. So yeah,
I agree. I think this has probably been like the most successful read along project thing that I've participated in, because we all loved all the books.
Yeah.
And everyone who participated loved the books, and we've had such great discussions, and so many people have participated and read with us and like use the hashtag and stuff, and it's just been like really, really fun.
Yeah, it's been super fun.
Is that a finger heart? Did I do it? Wait, no.
Hard to. Yeah, that's it. Chelsea, you got it.
You're doing it, right? Yeah.
You suck.
Yeah. I think it always feels like really good too to like love one of your favorites as well, because it's fucking scary, you know. And like I said, like I really didn't know. I really went into this being like, oh, you know, it's probably not going to hit like that for me, and it really did. And like I've said this in like all my reviews so far and stuff. Like I read the series because of Madeline with that question. She like bought me them all, I think too, you know. And so, you know, and I know Chelsea loves it too, but just like me and Madeline were older friends and stuff, and like I always have correlated this series with Madeline, and so I was like, oh God, like, you know, we're gonna do this.
That just makes
and
me
then
laugh.
I'm not gonna, yeah, and then to actually love it, you know, and I'm not even kidding. Like I really think that like Memphis is like one of my favorite characters of all time. I think they are one of my OTPs of all time now, and it's just that's wild, you know, to get that when you're not expecting it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Thank God for Madeline.
Also, not to sound,
she's the reason I read it too.
And not to sound like a dumb, I shouldn't be this mean. Not to sound like people that are like, I didn't know that was in the book, when it's like, go to Goodreads, the reviews are there. But like, I really did think that this was like a ghost story type thing, when like really like, you know, this is like the blood on America's hands, you know, and like it's a lot scarier than what I thought it was.
Then just
I really appreciate it. I really love it a
lot. Yeah, I completely agree. I thought the same. I was like, I don't like spooky books. But if someone would have been like, it's a commentary on the evils of America, I'd have been like, fuck me up.
Yeah.
We'd have been on this train a long time ago. But I love it. Thanks, Madeline.
So
you the best.
Thanks, you guys.
Love you, Madeline.
For doing this.
All right. No choice but to stand.
So the girl with the red balloon, guys.
Yeah, that if you want more social commentary,
for real,
one comes next.
I still need to read that. It's gonna happen soon.
Maybe we should just start moving along chronologically.
Yeah.
Madeline's face.
Oh God.
Well, I personally need to finish packing because the lease is up tomorrow.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, thank you to everyone for joining us. I hope you had a great time. We all did, as we said. We've loved reading with you guys and reading these books together. We will have a live show for The King of Crows. We will announce that closer to and give you all of the information well in advance, so you can read the book and join us for that discussion, which will definitely be spoilery. Lots of feelings. So we'll see you then. We'll keep each other updated when King of Crows comes out. But thanks again, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out.
Reading with us.
Bye.
Are we doing?
Bye.
Bye. Ooh.